What's going on, full-time family? Man, as soon as I saw this headline and this video, you guys know I had to react to it. I've seen half of this, and I said, you know what? I'm going to end up doing a reaction to this video. I got to speak some truth into existence because what I'm hearing is absolutely asinine. I mean, even from the caption, I said, oh, here we go. I can't wait. It says, no more racism. Racism still exists. Well, this is not a good case of it. So if this is your case that racism still exists, then this is actually proof racism doesn't exist. To the contrary, because this is not racism what happened here. I'm going to play it. I'll just give you guys a brief summary of the situation. As you can see, Mackenzie Dern, this is her baby's father. They have a baby who is extremely light-skinned. If Mackenzie Dern was not in this picture, and I mean, I wish I could just cover it up for you guys, but just look at it. The father and the baby have completely different complexions. If you were in public and you seen this man holding this baby without the bottle, because you know any baby's quiet when they have a bottle, you could give a baby to a stranger that's crying, and then when you give them the bottle, they're going to be quiet because babies love bottles. But with that being said, if this baby did not have the bottle and it was crying hysterically, not a normal cry, a hysterical cry, like a I'm getting kidnapped cry, and you see this gentleman holding this baby, yeah, it's completely reasonable and logical to ask questions like, hey sir, what's going on? Are you okay? Like, what's going on with the baby? So that's what happened here. A white lady saw him holding the baby and she was crying a lot. Mackenzie Dern tries to say the baby was crying a little, and the father corrects her, he was crying a lot. So the baby was crying a lot. It was more than just a little cry. So if you see a white person and they're holding a dark baby and the baby's hysterical, someone might walk up to them and say, hey, are you okay? What's going on here? Same situation. That's what happened here. Someone was trying to protect Mackenzie Dern's baby, and she's accusing the woman of racism. So I'm going to play the video. I'm not going to stop it much, but I am going to stop it just to point out a couple of things. So let's check it out.
Hey guys, so today something happened with us at the beach, and we want to share it with you guys because it's something that happens all the time and people don't know that it's still happening today. So we're just gonna share like our experience with you guys. We went to the beach in Huntington and we were underneath the pier. I was taking pictures like maybe 5 feet, 10 feet away from him. My husband Wesley, he was with our daughter Moa. She was like crying a little bit, right?
Yeah, she's crying a lot.
Crying a lot.
Okay, first fucking problem I have. You were over there taking pictures, being an Instagram model, you know, dang, I'm taking pictures only 5 to 10 feet away. So you heard the baby crying. Obviously, the baby's crying a lot. You know, he corrected her. The baby's crying. I don't want to use the word hysterically because I don't want to overstate it, but the baby wasn't crying a little. I mean, if it was just a little, he wouldn't have corrected her there. The baby was crying a lot. He couldn't get the baby to stop crying, and you're over there taking pictures. So, I mean, one of you, as the baby's parents, you would think would be able to get the baby to at least quiet down for a second. So she was either too busy taking pictures, or he didn't have a bottle. Like, the baby's very calm now. The baby's not crying in this video. It's got a bottle. So where was the diaper bag? And the lady asked that, where's the diaper bag? The baby doesn't have a bottle. Is the baby hungry? Does the diaper need change? Because babies don't just cry to cry. When babies are crying, and when they're crying a lot, it's usually because something is wrong. I mean, you might need to change the diaper. You might need to feed them. And so the lady approached them and said, where's the diaper bag? And not to mention, they're completely different complexions. So you've got this dark guy holding a light baby, and he doesn't have a diaper bag. The baby's crying hysterically, and they were concerned for the baby. And that's racism?
But he was like with her, everything, and all good. And a lady on top of the pier, she started asking him like, oh, is everything okay? Where's her diaper bag? that type of
She's
thing.
good, or
Yeah, is she okay?
yeah,
Everything's good, and he's like, oh yeah, everything's good,
yeah, everything's good. My wife's here.
Yeah, my wife is here, just over there, everything.
So you're in California, where, by the way, I mean, doesn't have everything to do with this conversation, but it is something to take into consideration. There are a large number of illegal immigrants in California, and there's been a lot of news stories about people using babies, buying babies to use for immigration purposes. So people are on alert of these things. So you've got a gentleman that looks like he is not the same complexion as the baby. The baby is crying, and the lady approached and she was asking what's wrong. And he was like, no, the mother's here. But the lady wanted to make sure the baby was safe, the baby was okay. She wasn't racist. She didn't say, hey, what are you doing with this white baby? You dirty, dark skinned, you know what I'm saying? She was literally concerned for the baby, asking, where's the diaper bag?
But she's good. It's okay. And like that's it, didn't think anything of it. And the lady like walked off the pier and came down to where he was, and then started to ask him like a whole bunch of questions again, like where's he from, where's her diaper bag, what does he do,
Yeah, what's her working?
like who is she for,
Yeah.
who is she to him, like how is she related to him. And he's like he's answering her questions, but honestly he didn't even need to answer anything. She doesn't, it's really none of her business. But he was
And
like,
after that, I say, my wife's here. So if I need help, and I say, hey, more. And she come and help me. She's your wife? Say yeah. And she go talk to you.
yeah, he said like that I'm over. He's like, oh, my wife's there, and she like looked surprised, and she came and talked to me, and she said, oh,
The guy clearly doesn't speak that good of English. So I don't know if he said, oh, my wife. So the lady probably didn't understand. He was saying, oh, my wife's there. Like, he doesn't speak very good English. That's why she's translating for him and speaking for him. So this lady, someone who doesn't speak good English, holding a what seems to be white baby, that raises red flags. What are you supposed to do? If you see somebody holding a baby of a different complexion that is crying hysterically, what are you supposed to do? Ignore it because you don't want to be a racist? Or are you supposed to make a call and try and protect that kid? Kids get kidnapped every fucking day, B. What are you supposed to do? Let that shit happen? You ain't supposed to intervene. You're not supposed to come up and say, hey, what's going on? You don't even look like this baby. You can't even get clarification? Get the fuck out of here. This ain't racism. This is somebody being a good Samaritan. If you've got to understand, if your baby is a different complexion, you should understand this. They're completely different complexions. It's not like he walked up to a black person with a black baby that was crying and was like, hey, what are you doing? Is that your kid? They don't even look the same. And it was crying. He didn't have a bottle. He didn't have a diaper bag. So yes, somebody was concerned for your child, and instead of thanking them, you accuse them of being racist on social media so you can get all the beta males and all of the simps on your side. All of the people, oh man, look, I told you racism exists. Somebody was concerned for Mackenzie Dern's baby. And all the simps are already gonna just eat up every single word she says. Like, I mean, she could literally drop an edited video of the situation. She could, edit the white lady out of the video and edit in some other white lady screaming cuss words, and it could be an obvious edit, and people would still say, yeah, but the lady was still racist. I'm sure she was white. Get the fuck out of here. This is not racism. I mean, we'll watch the rest of the video, though, and see if something racist happens.
oh, is that your baby? I said, yeah, that's our baby. And then she said, oh, he doesn't speak good English and didn't like communicate himself well, and I thought it was weird, and I called the police. So like from when she was on top of the pier to when she went down, she called the police. I don't know what she told the police. If she said like, oh, there's a black man with a white baby here, it's a weird, I don't know, like.
I'll tell you what she told the police. Hey, there's a black guy with a white baby. The baby's crying. The guy doesn't speak good English. He don't have a diaper bag. This shit looks weird, you guys. And then once she talked to the mother, she told him, hey, he didn't speak good English. He didn't look like the baby, so I was concerned. I already called the police. That is not racist. That old lady needs a fucking award. She should be celebrated. She's just being a good Samaritan, and she's being accused of racism, and that happens a lot. That's the bullshit I be talking about.
Like, he wasn't mistreating her. No reason, like, to call the police or anything. Like, literally, she did, like, 2 questions and just called the police for no reason. And that's ridiculous, you know? Like, a dad can't be by himself with his baby because of how they look, if it's, like, one is dark and one is lighter. And I don't know if she probably, honestly, I think in her mind she was, like, looking out for Moa, but this is racism, you know? And
what?
It needs to be stopped. It has to be, like, brought to everyone's attention that it happens all the time, and no one's better than no one. There's no, like, there should be no, like...
I almost don't want to watch the rest of this. This is so fucking absurd. So if you see a white guy with a black or a Mexican baby that's crying hysterically, you're not supposed to say anything? If you see a Mexican guy or a black guy with a white or any... If you see somebody with a baby that doesn't look like their own and they're crying hysterically, you're not supposed to say anything? In this day and age of people selling babies to come into the country illegally, you're not supposed to question them? You're supposed to just let shit be if the baby's crying? And she said she had no reason to call the police when earlier Mackenzie Dern tried to minimalize it. She tried to say that, oh, the baby was crying a little bit. This guy said the baby was crying. No, it was crying a lot. The baby was crying a lot. Doesn't look like the guy, and you're not supposed to be concerned. Am I hearing this correctly? That's racism. What?
Image of what a family should look like, and what a father and a daughter, or a mother and her son look like.
Everybody's the same.
Yeah, everybody's the same. So just make sure you guys are aware of that. You know, no racism. It's bad. Just peace and love always. Woo-hoo.
Oh my. I can't, you guys. I said enough already, but this is not racism. This does not prove racism exists. As a matter of fact, this is what gives people who cry racism a bad name. And usually, it's always a bad example. There are very, 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 very few instances of actual racism that people actually encounter. And in my opinion, it's most of the times, 99.8% of the time, it's not racism. It is somebody that is ignorant, that has been lied to, somebody that is evil. It's not, if they found somebody of a different race that had their same ideology, they would give them a pass, because it's not about the color of their skin. It's about their ideologies and what they agree or disagree on. But this right here is inexcusable. I don't understand how you can cry racism here when it's just common sense. If you see somebody holding a baby that doesn't look like their baby and the baby's crying, you intervene. You try and help the baby. It's normal to ask what's wrong with the baby if a baby's crying hysterically and the person doesn't look like the baby and they don't have a bottle and they don't have a diaper bag and the mother's not in sight. So I don't understand this at all. I think it's asinine, but I guarantee you if you go to the comments, there's going to be a bunch of simps with fucking emoji heart faces and, oh, it's okay, Mackenzie, we love you, we understand, fight that racism, girl, we can't wait to watch your next fight, fight racism and fight your next fight. Get the fuck out of here, man. Bite him out! With that being said, it is what it is. Let the full-time family know what you think in the comments. I'm out.